Okay, today's video is for all of you helpers out there. And we love you so much, and our world is a better place for you being in it. But I know that sometimes it can get you into a little bit of trouble. So we're going to talk about what you can do when you feel the urge to help to make sure that you do it in the healthiest way possible. I'm Stacy Rocklein. I'm a relationship literacy coach, and I help people to create, strengthen, and deepen their emotional connections. So helpers have a really unique way of seeing the world. They walk through this world and they see the need. They see what other people need and how they can help them. And they are so incredibly valuable to us. Now, you may be what you would consider yourself a helper, or you might just be somebody who does like to help and who helps a lot. But I want to talk about what can happen for somebody who has got a kind of a helper heart, where they can get into trouble and how you can keep yourself in the healthy zone. So because they see the world as need, they sometimes make the assumption that that's how other people see the world also. So when they see a need out there and other people are not meeting it, that can feel like it's cruel, because they're thinking that they automatically see it and are intentionally saying no. But there are a lot of people in the world who just do not see through the helper's eyes. So if somebody doesn't come to another person's aid, or they don't come to your aid when you're a helper, it isn't usually because they thought, you know what, I can see she needs something and I just choose no. An important kind of distinction to make: they can go into unhealthy help as opposed to healthy help when they're under stress. And so we'll talk a little bit about that first. What is healthy helping? Healthy helping is when it feels good, right? It feels good to be helping the other person. Like coming up intrinsically from within you, makes your heart sing. And it feels like the right thing to do, right? It feels like the highest possible action is to help. And so that's amazing and awesome, and we want that. Unhealthy helping can also happen, and if what I describe is something that you have experienced before, don't be hard on yourself. It happens to all of us. It especially happens in times of stress, if somebody feels insecure or somebody's in a new relationship. Sometimes helping happens for perception. They want to be seen as helpful, want to be seen as a helper. And that's not so much healthy helping. That's got an agenda behind it. They help for positioning, right? If I help you a bunch, then you're going to need me. And now I've kind of like solidified my position in this relationship. And that's unhealthy helping also. We want to help because it's the right thing, and we want people to show up for us. It's because it's the right thing, because we want to do that for each other, because we love each other. And then the other one is transactional helping. When I help you a bunch because I want to make sure when I need something that you're going to be there for me. And there's nothing wrong with expecting the other people in your life to show up for you, but we want to do it because it's from the heart and it's love-based, not because there's some transaction in place, right? We want it to just be an auto response because of the connection and the love, not the transaction. So important to watch out for those kind of unhealthy ways of helping. And like I said, don't be hard on yourself. If you've done that before, okay, it's happened to all of us. And it happens in stress. Now, some of the traps the helper gets caught in. One is the overwhelm, right? They just see so much need and they see so many places that they can help, that instead of taking care of themselves first, they take on too much and they deplete their own resources, whatever that is: time, energy, money, other resources. So that's something to watch out for. Another thing is that disappointment, like I was talking about earlier, when they see someone not helping, and that feels like a disappointment, or they need help and they feel overwhelmed, feel in need, and nobody comes to their aid. That can cause a lot of disappointment. So you want to change your thinking, and also to be really careful, because helpers are so good at helping someone who does need that they can end up with a lot of takers in their environment and a lot of takers in their relationships, because it seems like a good match, right? I'm a helper and you're a needer. But that's only a good match if it's temporary. It cannot be long standing where one person's always giving and the other person's always taking. And so then when the giver needs something, needs someone to show up for them, that person can't be there. So they can get disappointed in their relationships. And sometimes you got to go down to the root of, is this a healthy relationship or not? Can this person show up for me? And another one of the traps they get into is they create the opposite effect in their relationships. So when they feel insecure, or a relationship is new, they might be doubling down on the helping. And what that can do is actually push people away because it can cause the person to feel suffocated, to feel like, geez, please just stop and give me some space because they're overdoing the helping. And then when somebody disappears or pulls away, it's actually like having the opposite effect because that person who's helping wants to be connected to them, wants to be connected to each other. They want to be connected to each other. And so that can happen too, where all of a sudden that person you wanted to be connected to is actually pulling away. So some of the traps. But we want to be healthy in our helping. So let's talk about ways to do that. I'm going to give you 4 questions to ask yourself, and you want to make sure that the answer is yes to every single one before you go forward and help. Okay. The very first thing you're going to do though is pause. Just pause. Helpers can be quick to jump in, can feel the yes coming out of their mouth or the offer coming out of their mouth before they've paused to figure out if it's healthy or not. So first, just pause. It also gives other people the opportunity to help also. That makes other people feel good. It doesn't always have to be you, right? After the pause, ask these questions. Can I afford to do this and still care for myself? Whatever time, money, or resources I'm going to use and energy, can I afford to do that and know that I'm still caring for myself first? We don't want it to be a total self-sacrifice. That's where you end up in that kind of overwhelm and that depletion. Next question. Is my help what this person needs or wants? Because helpers will jump in too quickly sometimes when somebody hasn't asked for help. And that can be one of those situations where the person feels kind of suffocated. But also this, the people in your life that you can help also might need the opportunity to learn how to do something for themselves. That's empowering. That's when you're giving a different kind of gift. You're giving them the gift of learning how to do something on their own, how to pull themselves out of a situation. So by checking in with if it's something that they need or want, you're also maybe giving them the gift of empowering themselves to make a change. Third question, am I choosing to give without being taken advantage of or manipulated? Like I said, sometimes helpers can be surrounded by takers, and takers can even completely unconsciously, might not even realize they're doing it, manipulate a helper to help them. They might even be convinced that they need the help, that they can't do this without that other person. And so they believe it, but you're being manipulated and you're being taken advantage of. And so it's really important that you be able to say yes to, am I choosing to give without being taken advantage of or manipulated? And the last one is this, am I giving freely without expectation? This is where you really have to be super honest with yourself. Am I giving and I don't care, what position I'm creating? I'm not creating a transaction. I'm not creating an expectation of what they're going to have to do if I need something. I'm not trying to create a need. I'm actually doing it in a healthy way where I don't have an expectation. I just want to give to them. So those are the 4 questions you're going to ask yourself. And if you get yeses across the board on those, yes, go do it. Totally help. We love it. We need each other. We need to help each other. But if the answer is no on any one of those, it's time to pull back and see what other options there are so that you can protect yourself and love people in the best, most healthy way possible. Okay, thank you for watching. If you know a helper in your life that gets themselves into a little bit of trouble with some unhealthy helping, please, please, please forward this to them or make sure that they're aware of this video so that they've got some tools to use going forward and can build really deep, meaningful connections that are completely healthy in their lives. Okay, thank you for watching. I will see you next time.